So I've gathered all the supplies that I use for my cup of cacao. I've got my chopped chocolate. This is from the brick. I just took a knife and chopped it. Then I've got a tablespoon, a ramekin, and a scale, some local honey, a little cinnamon, cardamom, a little bit of cayenne pepper, elderberry syrup, nutmeg, and then I have 2 different cups to choose from. So the spices that you use are just for whatever may be pleasing to your palate. It does not have to be these spices, but I do generally tend to add cinnamon and cardamom every single time. If I want my cacao to be a little bit more heart opening and I've got some more time to spend with her, I will add a pinch of cayenne. And by a pinch of cayenne, just a tiny little bit. So as we are doing the preparation here, I will take some of the cacao, put it onto the scale, measure it out, and then we'll add in the spices. So I have the ramekin on the scale and it shows that it weighs 161 grams. Now I'm going to put in 30 grams of cacao. So I'm looking for 191 to make as my serving. All right, so I've got my 191, and then what I do is I actually take my cup and I fill it with hot water, right up to enough where I can put the ramekin in the top like that. And I allow the hot water to be the vessel that heats up the cacao. And I let that sit for a couple minutes. As I'm letting that sit, I'll add in my cinnamon, my cardamom, the cayenne pepper, the honey, and then I choose to add some elderberry syrup. Now, you may or may not have that. You may enjoy some ashwagandha, some maca, some any supplement that may bring yourself happiness. Please feel free to add that. And then as it's heating, I just add in the spices there. And so I just opened all the spices, got in the hot water. So I'm going to show you that you just place the cup. Whoop, I'm going to have to dump out just a tiny bit. I place the cup right into there, allow that to heat up, and I'll add in the cinnamon. I do just a little to taste. The cardamom, another little, just couple shakes. By the pinch of cayenne, I literally just take it off the top of the container. And then for the wet ingredients with the elderberry and the honey, I wait a little bit until the cacao starts to melt. Mixing around the spices. Now you can start to add hot water to it directly now, but I like to start the process like this and allow it some time for itself to heat up. While I'm doing this process, I'm also thanking Mama Cacao for being here, for allowing me to have this opportunity to spend time with her, and also to set the intention for what I'm doing today with my cacao. And so my intentions this afternoon is I have some paintings I want to work on. So I desire creativity. And so as I allow this process to take place, I'm thanking the ancestors for the time that they spent, for the times that they did this process themselves. And then I'm also just settling into the idea that I'm going to be in ceremony. So I paused until the cacao started to melt and I could show you what it starts to look like. So it gets a little darker in color, and as it's heating up, it is going to create a paste. And as this paste is still warming, it's going to take a little bit more time to heat up, but I'll probably add in the elderberry syrup. And so that's going to add some liquid to it to allow it to get to a paste a little bit quicker. If you don't add in the elderberry syrup, you can just add in a tiny bit of hot water like I just did, that amount, and it will help to create the paste a little easier there as well. And then I'll add in the honey. A little to start. We can always add more because the cacao from Keith's is not sweetened. This is local Michigan honey, which is great for the immune system and allergies. I just love to watch honey drizzle all over the cup. And there we go. The honey. Allowing that to melt in a little bit more. So to stir a little bit more, you see that it becomes this beautiful, dark, rich paste. I still have some more melting to do because I can see the chunks, but as we get down to a smoother paste, I then will add a little bit of the water. I usually warm my cups so that they are warmed to start, and I add in just a tiny bit of water like that. And then it will start and help to make it melt on its own. This is why I suggest at least 10 minutes for the cacao making process. Probably, if you can account for 15 to 20, allowing you to get into the mindset. Ah, but look at how rich and beautiful and dark that color is. I can still see a few larger pieces in there. I'm going to add in a little more hot water. Again, a little bit at a time and stirring in. And then the cacao should turn to a really beautiful, rich, smooth consistency. Can you see just how glossy and lovely she is? And then we add in a little bit more hot water and continue to stir. Thank you, Mama Cacao. There's a slightly pinky red purple tint, and that's from the elderberry. I can still feel a little bit of the pieces on the bottom, so I just keep stirring. And then add in a little bit more water. And then what I also have to finish it off are just a few rose petals to add in the love. I look forward to seeing you at our cacao ceremony.